Hi again everybody, Chris Lawhead here for Online Music Lab. This video is about fundamental necessities that music students need, okay? The first, and I know some of my points are painfully obvious, but this is really important, the student needs to want to be there. The student needs to want to learn music. Forcing your kids to learn music, it might work a little at the beginning when they're young, but I've actually never seen it work. The kid has to have a desire to learn music, okay? And of course, if you're an adult student, then you can do whatever you want, and so that's probably not an issue, okay? Number two, they need to find joy in the process. Again, we call it playing music. Music is, in my humble opinion, is a gift. It's a joy. It's awesome. I love it. I love everything about it. And if you can't find some joy in it, then, life's too short. Don't do it. There's always stamp collecting or something. Number three, they need to develop and have patience and discipline. Now, if you're not a patient person, I always ask my students, are you patient? If they're not, then they'll learn patience. Music is a very humbling thing, and it just takes repetition and steady effort, just like anything else worthwhile. Just takes steady effort and repetition. And it will work if you have those key elements. But if you don't have patience and if you don't have discipline and you don't plan on developing those anytime soon, then again, something else might suit you better. Okay? Now we'll get to some of the nuts and bolts. Everybody needs a metronome. For those of you who don't know what a metronome is, it's just a thing that clicks a regular beat. Okay? And you think, well, I can click a regular beat, but sometimes I'll speed up a little, and sometimes I'll slow down, and a metronome, it's a little clicker box, will not speed up or slow down unless it's broken, okay? And you can really tell the musicians who study and practice with a metronome versus those who don't. The people who have a metronome have great rhythm, and rhythm is most important, in my humble opinion. The primary thing in music, in good music, is good rhythm, and so a metronome will help a lot. They're 20 to $50. I mean, you could get an antique one for $200. I think there's even one for $10, okay? And of course, you can get one on your iPhone. I have a Droid. I have a metronome on my Droid. So the best musicians in the world tend to use the metronome a lot. So consider that. A tuner. Everybody will need a little tuner. Now, they make metronome tuner combos. I have one of those. Works pretty good. Playing in tune is pretty essential as well. So there's these little electronic tuners that help you zero in your pitch, and I highly, highly recommend one. Now, of course, you want to develop your ear as a tuner too, so you could get a little tuner, one of those tuning whistles. But you need some way of tuning, okay? Even if it's just your piano, which is hopefully in tune, and you tune by ear to that, okay? Of course, you need a notebook. If you can collect all your stuff in one spot, so you can reference it. So I might have a question. I might have a student ask me a question that I haven't heard in 5 years, and I'll look to my manual. If it's a saxophone question or if it's a flute question, I'll go and look in my manual and be like, oh, yeah, this head joint does this, or this mouthpiece is good for this, okay? So something I wouldn't remember, I have a reference. So I still use my notebook. Now, every music student should have a reference notebook as well, okay? Number 7, you need a teacher, okay? Now, I know we have great videos here on Online Music Lab, and there's great resources on YouTube and elsewhere, video lessons, and those are great. Those are great. Don't get me wrong. Those are great tutorials. Those are great practice tools. You just can't beat being in a room one-on-one with a teacher who will watch your fingers or watch your posture and help you fix all those little things. You just can't get that from a video. So a teacher is essential. If you can't afford a teacher, if you can't afford an hour a week, take an hour a month. If you can't afford an hour a month, do the online video stuff and take, save up your pennies and take a lesson once a season, okay? But it really, really is important to get one-on-one with someone who's just primarily there to serve you and in your musical endeavor, okay? Everybody, especially instrumentalists, okay, flute, clarinet, sax, anybody who's doing band instruments or stringed instruments, you're going to want a method book, okay? And you want to do a method book from starting on number 1, the first song in the method book, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through. You don't want to skip around. Those method books are designed to tackle little problems one at a time, little musical ideas one at a time, and then the good ones, repeat those till you got it, and then they'll introduce a new musical concept. Then they'll blend those two concepts together, and you just build and build and build on that. So don't underestimate the power of going through a method book. Most of them come in 3-book series, and I have all my flute, clarinet, saxophone students all go through the Standard of Excellence, which is a great method book. We all go through book 1, 2, and 3, and we start on 1 and go all the way through. So I highly recommend a method book. Okay. This is probably the most important point I can make for any music student. A fundamental necessity is steady effort. Now, for those of you who don't know, anything worthwhile requires steady effort, okay? You want to accomplish anything, you need to do it and do it and do it, okay? Now, think about it for a second. What are you good at, okay? Most likely, the stuff you're good at is stuff you've done a lot. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Simple concept. It needs to be said. You'll hear me say it over and over in these videos. Anybody who studies with me privately or comes to my clinics will hear me say that over and over. Steady effort, okay? And for kids, the final point, for kids, and I guess this goes for adults too, is you want to have supportive parents, okay? If your parents are bringing you to private music lessons, they're probably pretty supportive already, okay? If you're an adult student, does your husband or wife support you in your musical adventures? Okay? Does your family support you? Having people that support you in your dreams, okay, or in your endeavors, goes a long way, okay? No man's an island, as you all know, so, we're all in this together. Let's help each other. That's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I chose to teach. I've been helped so much by so many people. I mean, it's infinite when I think about it. And I can't tell you how grateful I am. So, that being said, support, regular effort, some fundamental tools, and you are set. So I hope this video helps. And if you have any questions or you're looking for information, you can find me online, piece of cake. And I'm dedicated to serving others through music. So, my name's Chris. Hope this serves you well, and we'll see you next time.